So, good evening, all. So, hi, I am your instructor for cybersecurity, and I am going to give you some brief introduction about cybersecurity and what are the fields in it. So, about that, I am certified security analyst. I am also EC Council certified ethical hacker, as well as I am internet investigation specialist by Asian School of Cyber Laws. And I am top 1% ranker on tryacme.com. I also have some software development related experience as a Node.js developer, as a Python developer, as well as I take corporate trainings. I am also visiting faculty in MIT WPU Kothurud, and today I am here to tell you all about how to get into cybersecurity, because that is the main part in everybody's career. Everybody is like, oh my god, there are a lot of things that we know, still we are not getting jobs, or we have this skill set, but still cybersecurity is very different. I am having little bit interest, but how to start, where to start, there are a lot of things. So moving forward with the contents that I'm going to tell you about. First of all, I'm going to tell you about the introduction of the cybersecurity, as well as some trends, like how the hacks took place in the history, as well as recently also Microsoft had an attack, and the Microsoft teams were down day before yesterday only. Regarding IoT and cloud security is one of the major concern right now, because many of the industries are transferring all their data, all their sign-ins, their systems on cloud. IoT security is getting day by day a big concern, because obviously IoT is being used in all the industries, like smartwatches, or any smart device that we are using. It is also CCTV cameras are also being used in IoT devices. AI integration by cybersecurity. So, as you all know, ChatGPT, one of the best example for AI integration nowadays. Because of ChatGPT, directly ChatGPT is able to give us the exploits that right exploits, and those exploits are used to directly bypass the systems. So this is how AI integration of cybersecurity is being in demand nowadays. Moving forward with, we are also going to see about the understanding of those, how the phases of hacking are there. Then blockchain security. One of the best example of blockchain security is crypto, and it is very decentralized data, and as well as there are a lot of problems in blockchain security. So that we are definitely going to look for. Moving forward with different cybersecurity roles, what will you will be working on, what all things as a cybersecurity specialist, as an auditor, or any SOC role, what are you going to do? All these things I'm going to cover up in this scenario. So basically, cybersecurity means all about protecting the data. So if you are perfect, and if you are definitely capable enough to protect all your data, then it will be a very big success for you, because obviously there will be no data loss, there will be no information leakage, your company will be secured, or your whatever your job role is, your all your data will be secured, nobody will be able to access your data. So all these things comes under cyber security. Basically, we have to take some control about all the things we are looking for. So for example, even if we are just sharing our phone number or email ID, we are giving someone our a pathway to get into contact with us, but we are not realizing that we are also disclosing our information. Using our phone number, using our email, we are able to directly get access to many of the things. Like, for example, nowadays phone numbers are being linked to bank account numbers. So that will be a very big problem if any information leakage is there, or anybody knows some bank passwords or some information related to it. eSIM swaps can be taken place related to our phone number and it may cause very big problem. Unauthorized deletion means if we are getting into some cloud-based security structure and if any hacker has a hacker's perspective, if that hacker is able to directly get the access of some data and directly delete every single thing from that cloud drive, then it will be a very big mess for a company or any MNC or anybody who is having their very important submission, any important data, any confidential documents, then it will be a very big problem. Unauthorized modification. So talking about unauthorized modification is a very big thing because it will need privilege escalation techniques, that is administrative privileges. Once the hacker is able to directly get the administrative privilege, the hacker will directly be able to modify every document temporarily. For just imagine if the hacker is directly able to get into police records or medical records and modify those records, he or she would be able to directly tamper the evidences or the records, and it will cause a havoc in all the medical fields or police stations. Because if all the data has been vanished or modified, it will be a very big mess. Top cybersecurity trends for 2023. So talking about that, it is very big issue because nowadays, as a cybersecurity specialist, it is getting harder for everybody to clear every single concept to get into all the core things about cybersecurity and then try to manipulate that. So if you have to think like an hacker, if you are able to think like an attacker, you will be able to get into the system. But if you are not able to, you are not knowing the core technical parts of how to get into the system, then it will be a very big problem. So greater the privacy and regulatory pressures, the greater will be the impact. So zero trust replaces VPN. So nowadays, every single person, whoever they are connecting to Wi-Fi security issues or wireless security on the airports, on coffee shops, they are trying to connect using VPN. VPN means virtual private networks, and using that zero trust networks, they will be able, they will not be able to actually get the access of that particular device. So this is very good part that nobody will be able to trace you back, and it will be a very good thing, so that nobody, if you are creating your own virtual private network, nobody will be able to see into your data, nobody will be able to interpret your data. Moving forward with threat detection and response tool, the threat detection and response tools are most probably used in blue teaming so that they can predict if any threat is being there on your network, on your systems, on your organization. They will monitor every single threat, every single exploits. Well, they will monitor all the vulnerabilities, any open port. If there is any open port, then they will be able to directly monitor it, and then using that, they will be able to detect if any intruder comes into the network. And obviously, if the intruder is there into the network, they will directly be able to cut him out, cut him or her out, depending on the threat. Moving forward with increased demand for third party risk management. So all the companies nowadays are trying to outsource their all the services. So if any third party application is being used or any third party software is being used, they are not always certified, or they are not always patent, or they are not always having all the security measures perfectly used in order to safeguard their systems. So if as a software development company, I am trying to directly send some data through of my company through that particular third party software, then it will be a very big issue if the third party software is compromised. So just look and imagine that if that third party application directly goes into wrong hands, then they will directly try to blackmail that organization that we have your confidential data, we have this data, and due to this. So best example nowadays we can give, that is Uber hack. Even though there was data disclosure, information disclosure, Uber bribed that particular hacker and they retrieved all the data. So even though there was data disclosure, they were able to retrieve the data and they bribed the, and later on when their CEO changed, he directly declared that there was a leak, information leak, and they were sued by many lawsuits because obviously everybody's data was compromised and it had caused havoc in all over the world. Moving further with outsourcing cybersecurity, or so basically nowadays people are having these trends. They are trying to start up their own company, create developing their own softwares. Those softwares are called as intrusion detection systems or intrusion prevention systems. Those softwares are installed on the network of clients or network or software of the clients in order to monitor every single move of that particular software or network. So this part comes under blue teaming. Blue teaming means defense team, whoever is monitoring 24 by 7 for all over the organization. So this is how organizations outsource nowadays cybersecurity, because if I, as a CEO of a software development company, I will not have all the knowledge related to the cybersecurity. So I will just outsource to some of the company, and that company will provide me security related to my product or my software. So this is the scenario for all many of the organizations. Nowadays, if we see that there is a very good trend, actually, it is very beneficial because many companies nowadays have are under cyber attacks most of the time. So that's why cyber insurance drives are there. In this cyber insurance drive, they cover every single part of our company's hardware, software, so that if any data loss or any crash takes place, the company will get all the insured rupees and then rupees or funds, whatever we can call, and they will be directly be able to get the information. Moving forward with risk assessments. Risk assessments are done on daily basis, I will not say, but monthly basis, I can say definitely all the risk is being calculated. Every single thing is been calculated before any insurance is been applied. So if any company is not following proper certain protocol security controls, then that company will not be able to directly get that cybersecurity insurance, and the company will not be beneficial if any cyber attack takes place. One of the favorite attack, that is explosion of BYOD and mobile devices. BYOD means bring your own device. So if we see that bring your own device means if we are using in company our personal phone, laptop, anything, then it will be a very big problem for the company as well as the person, whoever he or she is using. Because if your personal laptop, your personal phone is being connected to your office Wi-Fi wireless network or office local area network, then, and if it has been compromised already, then your personal data will be shared directly to the attacker. So just imagine if any personal thing is being shared with is been broadcasted with all the people, and it will cause a very, very, very big problem in the company. So this is one of the very worst issue. About talking about explosion of BYOD is if any DDoS attack takes place on that particular device, phone or laptop or smartwatch, and the chipset in that gets blasted, not blasted, but directly it crashes, and there due to overload of the processors, and it will directly be a very big problem for that person, because it obviously he or she will lose his personal device. Talking about integration with AI and ML, nowadays IDS systems, IPS systems, as well as firewalls are being developed with AI and machine learning. Next generation firewalls are being designed by Cisco. Cisco is one of the best company for networking, and it has been developing next generation firewall, which is using IDS firewall as well as IPS. So that next generation firewall is using intrusion detection system, which is directly monitoring every single move of the attackers, and they are trying to get the information. Talking about IPS, IPS is intrusion prevention system. They are directly able to mitigate all the risk. They are directly able to quarantine all the risk. They are directly able to remove all the risk from that particular intrude from the particular network, whoever is intruding. Rise in IoT devices. So if we see, everybody is nowadays wearing smartwatches, nowadays wearing many of the smart devices have been come in market. In that, they are able to directly get the IP address of that IoT device, the MAC address of the IoT device, whenever any scan is taken place, and those devices are not secured. So just imagine I am able to monitor your heartbeat, I am able to monitor your sugar levels, your oxygen levels, and if your device is working properly, I can tamper that device so that it will show you weird outcomes. Those outcomes can be tampered, and it may cause health problems, because if any, for example, ECG machine is being tampered using some network, and that network is causing trouble for ECG heartbeat monitoring, that person will not be able to the doctor will not be able to monitor the person's proper health health issues, and then it will cause a problem if any medicine is not given at a perfect time. So this is one of the major concerns in medical fields of IoT devices in day-to-day smartwatches. Attacks against cloud services. So the attacks against cloud services are very big concerns, because everybody nowadays uses Google Drive. Everybody nowadays uses Microsoft OneDrive. Every company, many companies, like they are still using Yahoo drives. So these kind of drives are not very secure. Like for example, any third party except Yahoo, but any third party drive is being used by any organization, and then it is being taken into picture that, oh my god, that drive is someone is accessing, someone is seeing the data. So these kind of attacks on cloud services are taken place. Even though there is Gmail, even though there is Microsoft, then also there are some of the attacks. There are still many bug bounty programs which are being aligned in order to secure the data. Even though they are very, very secure, they also have some data breaches no matter what happens. So this is a very big concern, because Nowadays, AI is taking control over all the attacks and using DDoS attacks or some previous patterns of all the viruses. They are trying to mix all the, we can say mix, or we can just say join all the viruses together, malwares together, and try to directly carry out a denial of service attack that is bumpering numerous requests in a on a network firewall or a system so that the person will not be able to get access of that system, and eventually the system will crash. So this is how cloud attacks takes place. Any editing of the attack takes place. Any uh, view, anybody can view the files. This can also take place. Tampering of the files will take place if anybody is successfully able to upload a virus on that cloud service and then take over on the server. Then it is a very big issue, because if other companies are also sharing the same server, then cloud services will be under very big problem. Next, talking about increasing threats of deep fakes. So increasing threats are very big concerns, because many black hat hackers directly try to lock all the drives. They try to send a malware through emails. They try to send malwares to pen drives, and the whole disk is locked by some certain extension, for example, .vbs extension, and that VBS script is then uh, be running all over the PC. Even though we restart the PC, it will run at the startup, and then it will take over the whole disk. So if that particular disk, if we want to decrypt, either we will have to do all the reverse engineering and find the solution, or else we will have to give the hacker money in order to get the password of that logged script. So this is one of the very dangerous threats which is increasing day by day. Rise in political cyber warfare. So as we all know, there are many, for example, Russian and Ukraine, there were many cyber wars going on. Russia was successfully able to get information using insider threats, get information about Ukraine. They were able to directly crack sensitive information, and using that sensitive information, they were attacking Ukraine. So this is how cyber warfare, that political cyber warfare works. Organizational behavior. So organizational behavior means if there is any disgruntled employee who is not really who is not really happy with the organization and upset about the organization, he or she will directly be able to use all the insider information, and that insider information he or she will sell to the opposition parties. So this is organizational behavior because of the hatred thing. Cybersecurity problems get created due to some human behaviors, we can say. Talking about the IoT security trends. So IoT security and cloud security trends. One of the biggest problem arising day by day is about eSIMs. So as you all know, if we go to any Airtel, Jio, or Vodafone Idea, BSNL, any of the network operator, and we just tell them that hello, I am this person. You give your Aadhaar card, and they try to validate that this is you only, and then they give you for the same number, whichever SIM you are using, they give you an eSIM. That eSIM, you will have a certain particular number. You have to just input that particular number into your phone, and you will be directly logged in using your phone through your yeah, phone. So basically, so this is how eSIM works. So you will not have to physically install eSIM into your phone. But now, what will be the problem arising about the eSIM? So eSIM security is a very big issue because SIM swapping can take place if there is any physical device. But what will happen if directly using your phone, just there the hacker is able to read your SIM card's number, and using that number, if he directly installs that number into his or her phone, your whole SIM card will be directly transferred to the attacker's phone. The SIM cloning will take place, and eSIM will be disabled on your phone and it will be enabled on the attacker's phone. And this is how B2B business frauds takes place. So literally people are not aware that they are using eSIM cards in their phone, and they are literally not aware. They just call them up. They just attacker will just call you up. They will say that, oh my God, this is, they'll some trick you into some ways, and using those ways they will, you will just give them that important number which is required to tamper your SIM card and give your whole SIM card access to that attacker. In certain cases, many of the people, you must have seen some movies that SIM swapping has done. Swapping has taken place. One of the person just inserts some card into the phone and then swaps the phone exactly, and the person thinks like, oh my God, this is my phone, but that is not his or her phone. So this kind of SIM swapping also takes place. Rise of private networks in the form of ENOs. So talking about the private networks, if every company starts opening its own private network, then it will be a very big problem for every single organization, because there will be a lot of private networks, and companies, whoever the service providers are there, they will have to manage every single private network separately. But just imagine if that company is sharing all the resources, all the servers from one company to other company. For example, in cloud, there is a situation that in that particular cloud, so if I am having a community cloud, and in that community cloud, one, two, three. There are three separate organizations in a single cloud, which is being used by a single server, and this server is sharing all the resources which whatever the organizations are using. So if we just see that these organizations, if for example number three is being attacked by some malware, but it is directly taking over the server's privilege escalation using some techniques. So if the server is only compromised, these two will also be compromised. So other organizations will also be in attack, even though they are not physically connected with third organization. First and second will directly be compromised. So this is how the problems arise if we are sharing some things. This is a very major issue. This is a very major drawback in cloud security, because community cloud is a good thing to share, cost friendly, but it may cause a lot of problems. Moving forward with artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, as I told you, ChatGPT is one of the best example to give in cybersecurity industry. Using that ChatGPT, you can directly tell anybody that you can directly tell ChatGPT that I have this problem. Please write this code so that I will be able to exploit that particular server. And the ChatGPT uses numerous researches, numerous all over globe web services, and it will directly start writing automatically using artificial intelligence, using machine learning, using deep learning. ChatGPT will be able to write whole code. So just imagine if any exploit which is more than 2000 words and you are not typing it manually. You are just giving the ChatGPT command that type, create that code manually, and then you will use that exploit within 2 seconds and you will get a lot of bug bounties. So this is the power of AI. So it in other way around it will cause many problems because obviously it will be a very big issue because you in that chat GPT most probably developers role will be finished because if ChatGPT is directly able to create a code about 2000 words within seconds, then developers' jobs will be in problem. Second, exploit developers' jobs will also be in problem because people will not know what is going on in the backend. People will not start manually all the things. People will directly take shortcuts, and if anything goes wrong, they will not be able to understand what is going on in the backend. So this is one of the major drawbacks we can say in artificial intelligence using ChatGPT. But yeah, it is good as a cybersecurity trend. It is very, very good to find more and more vulnerabilities. Building about a security awareness culture. So, if we can say on daily basis, many people still in organization, people are not literally not you locking their PC whenever they are just moving away from their desk. They are just roaming around, their PC is on, and anybody can do anything using their ID. So this is not very good practice in cybersecurity industry as well as any software industry, because if anybody from your laptop, from your allocated device is trying to copy the documents, is trying to access the documents, is trying to access the codes, then it will be a lot of uh, chaos in the whole company. Four ways that have been given that we have to create some simple, transparent information security policies that you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. We have to make a proper checklist and then give it to all the employees so that it will be a very good protocol to be followed. Empower employees with security awareness training. So many organizations nowadays, I also have gone to many of the corporate industries to give knowledge about how we should take security measures in cybersecurity so that their information, any information disclosure of that particular company will not take place. Even if there is any HR, even if there is any salesperson, even if there is any marketing head, everybody should know that there may be information disclosure by silly mistakes. So one of the major issue is this. Moving forward with make information security a company priority. So many of the companies literally ignore every security measure. They're like, okay, chalta hai. So it doesn't apply very much uh, in India. I know that people take it for granted that nothing will happen to the company, no data loss takes place, nothing will happen. But once the any cyber attack takes place, the company will be at, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, say please save me, please do this, please do that on priority ASAP, this that. So this is very bad scenario, but it happens with many industries. Last is reward employees for contributing a positive security culture. Obviously, there should be always positive culture in the cybersecurity industry. Otherwise, as a critical issue, there is a lot of pressure every single time in the cybersecurity industry. But if the culture is very positive and happy, the employees will be happy with all the things and they will also follow all the protocols no matter what happens. As I had given you some of the best example about ChatGPT, nowadays we can directly also run some patterns to recognize that particular viruses. So next generation firewall uses signature based detection systems as well as behavioral based detection systems. These systems play a very important role. Using AI technology, those systems will directly be able to get what is the pattern. So just imagine if I am having a virus called as 1.1, and now after many days the virus 1.2 version is there, virus 1.3 version is then, and so on. So 3.1, then 3.1.3.2, all these viruses will be there. And using these viruses, it will be a very big problem because we will not be able to, oh my God, is this virus or that virus or this virus, we will not be able to recognize immediately. But AI gives us the power to directly map all the patterns. And if there is any new version which we are not known, unknown version, of that virus is released with some 1.4.1, and we will still be able to recognize that this is a virus because we will be able to detect the pattern of these previous viruses. So this is how intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system works with AI technology. um, about this AI technologies, if we can see that there are a lot of issues, but there are many false positives. There are many things that don't give us correct answers also. So these are very big issues, but they are negligible because okay, sometimes literally there are a lot of false failures, false alarms, but we can at least mitigate those false alarms, but we cannot ignore any threat. So this is one of the best role used by the AI. So moving forward with distributed denial of service attacks, if any distributed denial of service attack takes place, so how does that takes place? So as a cybersecurity or as an attacker, I will have one of my laptop, one of my attacker thing, and I will directly try if this is an organization. In this, I am having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 6 are connected using LAN to every single computer. They are being connected to a router in the middle, and we are all able to connect using this router. So just imagine if, as an attacker, I try to manipulate some outside systems which are being used, and these outside systems will act as an attacker. What I will do, I will just use some AI technology. I will create bots and implement in this, create bot and implementing this, create bot and implementing this with 3 separate bots. Or else I will just combine those bots and then I will form a botnet properly configured. So bots are basically small programs which are being used or developed to carry out a task. So just imagine one bot is one virus, and I am trying to combine hundreds of bots into one botnet, and these botnets are then trying to attack this system, n number of times, or the router, the literally router will get crashed. The network will be down, even though this is a LAN network. They will not be able to protect it. And this is how there will be a very big issue in the cybersecurity industry or any organization. So battling bots are a bigger risk. Breach risk prediction. So breach risk prediction is, if I am as a software developer, I am literally developing a software which is being on a release on suppose tomorrow itself, and I am prepared that nothing wrong will happen, and then a breach takes place and someone directly publishes my software with his or her name. It will be a very big issue, because obviously the breach has been taken place and I was not aware about that breach. So this is one of the biggest problems. So this breach prediction should be done. There should always be good endpoints, which are also called as port numbers. So every organization or every network, we can say, every network will have a certain opening like door, and that opening will be called as port numbers. So if we are not having filtered ports, or we are having proper open ports, or we are not listening, or we are not focusing on unclosed closed ports, then it will be a very big problem, and there will not be better endpoint protection. So this is how these are one of the cons or attacks which are being taken place by AI, and how this is being integrated. So AI is better at vulnerability management. AI is also better at handling some data, but I would suggest manually automating, manually testing, manually doing all the things is more better than using AI technologies. AI most probably is integrated in such a way that every single software code is being analyzed, and then that code will run according to the AI. So if AI is having some glitches, those glitches will be vulnerabilities and not any features. So if those vulnerabilities are being ignored by the company and called as any features, then the company will definitely win. Very big problem, because a lot of things happen due to breaches if there is no proper business logic. Threats. Threats due to AI. So as I had told you about ChatGPT, there are a lot of things. If ChatGPT is able to develop a code using AI to directly carry out a DDoS attack, so it will just make a code which will carry out a DDoS attack. So just imagine the destruction level. So these are very bad scenarios where AI could take over the systems and it will give us the problems. Next, moving forward with ethical hacking. So as a corporate trainer, I always tell my students that please don't go into like, I will hack this, I will hack that, I will do directly bug bounty. Try to solve single, small conceptual codes. If you are able to solve all the conceptual things, if you are able to look at every problem and solve it properly, you will definitely be able to crack that particular thing and hack that particular thing in a proper manner. Talking about proper manner, these are the phases of ethical hacking. So first phase is reconnaissance. Reconnaissance means most probably information gathering of the target. So if we can say reconnaissance means any server related information, any IP related information, any MAC ID of the device. If we can directly get the version of that particular operating system, if we can get the operating system, if we are able to directly see which ports are open, which services can be run on that particular device. All this information gathering, if we do it properly, then reconnaissance will be the first best base for our ethical hacking. The more perfect you are in your reconnaissance, the more is the scope for you to find lot of bugs. If you are not very good at reconnaissance, you will not be able to get good bugs. Next phase is scanning. So in scanning, there are certain tools which are being used by the ethical hackers. That is one of the famous tool, as everybody knows, that is Nmap. Nmap is a tool which is a very noisy scanner, but even though it is a noisy scanner, everybody uses it. Using Nmap, using some automated tools like Angry IP scanners, Zen maps, all the scanning of the network is done. That particular scanning will give us a proper scenario of all the open ports, all the versions, all the services on that particular open ports or filtered ports. So that particular open ports or filter ports will give us a proper idea about how it is being vulnerable in what way. After scanning, after information gathering, we have got all the things now. So now it is time to exploit. Exploit means now we are trying to use that particular vulnerability and we are directly trying to catch that particular uh, phase in which I can directly bypass that particular security and then get the access of admin, get the access of administrator, get the access of root if it is Linux, and then we will be able to gain that particular access. Even though if we just get the access of that particular account, what will be the problem? The problem will be if we are just connecting to any server or we are connecting to the system, we are getting that access as an administrator and we are just disconnecting. That means we will be very a failed person because obviously we will not be able to tamper the data, we will not be able to get transfer, copy, delete, paste, anything. We will not be able to do it. So that's why we have to maintain that access, whichever server we are connecting illegally, illegally, whatever it is. If we are able to maintain that access, we are able to tamper the data. Then the last phase is covering the tracks or clearing the tracks. So just imagine if we are not able to clear the logs, log files, if we are connecting to Windows, if we are connecting to Linux, and we are not able to connect that particular log file, and we just left without clearing the log file. Everybody will know that this is IP address had been logged in. This is MAC ID had been logged in, and the people will be able to trace our own laptop. So to cut down it, to clear all old tracks to show as a perfect hack, we have to delete the logs whenever we are trying to go into the intrude into the system. Talking about the cybersecurity skills. So cybersecurity skills, there are lot of fields, but still we have to focus on all the fundamental parts. We should know every single thing about every single network, every fundamental about network, every fundamental about cloud, every fundamental about forensic, every fundamental about vulnerability assessment, every fundamental firewalls, every fundamental about application designs. All the things we should be able to clear the concepts. If we clear the concepts, we will definitely be able to crack it. We will definitely be able to find the vulnerabilities. We will definitely be able to stop the cyber attacks. We will definitely be able to get good exposure in cybersecurity and also excel in our cybersecurity career. Talking about cloud security. So cloud security best example, we are using Gmail Drive every day. Everybody has Gmail accounts. So that is all about cloud. We are directly using platform as a service. So we are just having our data on it. We are just able to get the information. That's it. In cloud security, there are three types, that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These three are very different. In infrastructure as a service, we only deploy network, we deploy the host, everything is deployed. In platform as a service, only network is deployed, only project is being deployed. So we have all the application and the data with us, and in platform as a service, and in software as a service, every single thing directly the whole software is being deployed on the cloud. We don't have any single thing on with us. We just have the login ID password so that we will be able to use our own softwares. So this is how cloud security is being differentiated. Talking about cloud security, there are a lot of things like public cloud, private cloud, then we have hybrid clouds and community cloud. Hybrid clouds, they are the mixture of public and private cloud. And community cloud, I had shown you that one single server will directly have two or three organizations in it. They will share the data, and if the server is been directly compromised, then every single thing will be tampered. Next, talking about computer forensic skills. So in computer forensic skills, people really need to be very good at mathematics, because computer forensics is little bit of into binaries, into hexadecimal systems, and they will have to clear all the conversion parts. So how to literally uh, get the data access. Sorry. So computer forensics is a very good field. We will be able to recover the data. We will be able to directly get uh, we will be able to decrypt the ransomware if any hard disk is being encrypted by some virus. All these things comes under computer forensics, and obviously everybody loves their first and favorite thing, that how can we directly trace someone's location using some tools. Then definitely everything comes under cyber forensics. Talking about blockchain security. Blockchain security is one of the major industry which has been explored every single day. It is growing. Blockchain security is basically every single time any information has been added, any information has been removed, any information which has been kept or deleted, every new block is being created and that block will never be deleted. Nobody can delete any block. So that's why blockchain technology is very good, but it is having some cons and pros. Pros are everything is traceable using blockchain technology, and con is it is creating huge amount of data. So if blockchain based websites are good, handled properly, it is very good. If it is not handled properly, it will literally create a lot of excess of data. In cybersecurity, we literally don't need much of skills like programming, but we definitely need basic understanding of all these programming languages: Python, Bash scripting, JavaScript, Java, C, C++. We should always have communication skills. So if we are at some point we have reported a bug and we are not able to explain how the bug is working, how the vulnerability is there. If we are not able to communicate properly, then it will create a problem, and then the people will say that you are just fooling us. So communication skills are very important in cybersecurity industry because we have to, as a cybersecurity consultant, we have to report to CEOs, CFOs, CMOs, and it is a very big concern. Problem solving skills in cybersecurity industry is very essential because problem solving skills will require, if we are very good at problem solving some vulnerabilities, some attacks, then we will definitely be able to excel in our cybersecurity career. Last but not least, but in the cybersecurity field, there are three teams, and if you have joined in one team, you will have to, and you have to just restart, go to other team. You will have to restart whole career. So I'm not saying you will have to restart whole career, but everybody will treat you as a fresher because as a red team specialist, you will always be an attacker and you will always try to find new bugs by attacking into that particular domain. As a blue teaming, you will always monitor, so you will not have much of the knowledge of how the attacks are taking place. In purple team, it is basically threat intelligence team, or we can say forensics team. If there is any attack, if there is any crime scenario, if we have to recover hard disk, if we have to go to the crime scene and then retrieve some hard disks, mobile phones, laptops, then it is all coming under purple team. Security analyst roles. So security analyst role is very good role. We have to see whether the source code is being good or not. If the source code is having some problems, any security issues, we can definitely look into it. Talking about the incident response, this is also a very good field in cybersecurity industry. It is coming under red, blue teaming, and incident response means basically every just a second. Elijah sir, please can you just mute? In cybersecurity analyst roles, there are some intrusion things. If any intruder is being there in our network, then we will have to respond immediately within seconds, within minutes, and we will have to mitigate that risk. We will have to remove that intruder. Until and unless that intruder goes out of our system, as a incident response team, we will be under very critical pressure because it is very serious task and critical task in cybersecurity industry. As a pen tester, we will have to analyze all the data. We will have to see, look for the vulnerabilities. We will have to find if any attacker as an intruder is going into the system, what is happening. Talking about auditor roles, so one of the best auditor is CISA. CISA, CISSP, these are one of the best certifications. As an auditor, you will just have to go into the cyber security, any company actually who is literally moving forward with the cyber ISO certifications. And as an auditor, you will have to assess whether that particular security person, whether that whole security team has properly worked the whole year in order to secure their whole network, in order to secure their whole systems and organization. So auditor tries to assess that particular company or organization. So this is one of the best field till date. So literally information security auditor career benefits, as we can see, these are all the career benefits. Just take a look at it and we will move forward within 30 seconds. Talking about cyber security architect. So this is a very high level post as a cyber security architect. You will need to work as a cybersecurity architect. You will only be able to work if you are into red teaming, you are into blue teaming, you are into purple teaming for more than total, let's just say three years of experience of every field, and then you will be able to directly become cybersecurity architect. In that cybersecurity architect, you will be directly at a very good post. So you will be able to assess all the information. You will have to restructure about every organization's loopholes. You will have to implement certain security controls every time. You will, as a cybersecurity architect, you will have to look for many flaws, get inputs from your team members, and then you will have to fix it no matter what happens. Because as an architect of the cybersecurity industry or organization, you will directly try to protect the whole organization. You will directly apply all the security proper policies, information security policies will be applied in your organization. If you are a cybersecurity architect, you will definitely be at the topmost level. Talking about cybersecurity consultant, the day-to-day tasks of cybersecurity consultant is to analyze all the threats, to do the security tests every single day, to check whether there are any system problems, to check whether the networking infrastructure is perfect or not, whether any data is being disclosed. If any potential threat is there, you will have to directly mitigate that risk. You will have to protect your organization in all the terms. As a security consultant, you will have to do many things because you are consultant. So this post is basically giving all the inputs to the organizations about all the things. As a network administrator, a day in network administrator's life is very, I can say, critical but chill also, because in network administrator, people are literally trying to uh, see, look into the network if there is any problem. And if any problem takes place, you will have to research every single thing. You will have to deploy all the wireless infrastructure network related things. You will have to directly train those teams and get the organization in control. So network administrator is a very good field till any cyber attack takes place. Then later on, you will have to just work on a lot of things. You will have to connect many wires, this, that. You will have to save many servers. You will have to monitor any server. This is how network administrator works. Technically speaking, as a network administrator, you have to go into a company. You have to be in a server room, and in that server room, you will have to monitor whether the network is working properly or not. If the company has given you to configure 100 PCs, as a network administrator, you just have to type it manually. Some automated commands are there, and you will be able to directly access all the 100 PCs, and then you will be able to give the information about, suppose we are allocating some IP address, then we will be able to allocate those IP addresses to that particular network computer, whichever is in our network, and we will be able to identify from which person we have got what information, or any data which has taken place or not. This is how network administration works. Last but not least, the most important takeaway from this cybersecurity session is basically you will need a lot of motivation to learn every single day new things, as well as you will not You cannot say that, okay, now I'm done with studying, I don't want to learn. Then your knowledge will be outdated and you will not be nowhere in cybersecurity field. Every single fundamental thing should be cleared properly in order to stay concrete. If you have concrete concepts, you will be able to clear high level concepts and you will be able to stop those cyber attacks. So you have to focus first on all the fundamental things. There is no shortcut. You cannot skip anything. What to do next if you have cleared this cybersecurity certification, this, that, or you are going to take the training? You will have to research every day, every new thing, every new attack. You will be able to get some certain information. If you get some new concept, if you get to know about some new technology, you will have to be updated about their security flaws. You will have to be uh, you will have to know all the vulnerabilities in that system software security which has been developed. And that's it from my side, everybody. Please feel free to ask any questions if there are any.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yes,
Yes.
I wanted to ask about I wanted to ask about how can you get a recording of this video because I arrived in late.
Yeah, sure. You can directly contact our HKR group and we are live, so most probably our live session will be uploaded on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Then how do you create awareness like in countries where we're in the third world countries like Uganda and people are just getting to know this cybersecurity thing? Like we will find it more engaging to find people in Uganda to use this cybersecurity on their networks. But we're having a challenge whereby most of the information cannot cross this side. It's on the net. It's on the internet, and you could have a target market in Uganda.
Yeah. So about creating cybersecurity awareness, we will tell them all the scenarios of how attacks will be taking place. How, if even though we are just uh, doing all the silly mistakes, we will be able to get into trouble very easily. As a cybersecurity analyst, I most probably give all the practical work to all my students and tell them how there will be issues during any small information disclosure, and that small information can cause how much impact. All the things I give them practically, I elaborate in such a way, I give them tools how those things work. So these all things most probably I teach them when I'm taking all my training sessions.
Okay, thank you.